We light this chalice, and we ask that through the strength of our community, may our light never fail and our spirits never falter. There is a lit chalice off screen. Our gathering song this morning is number 187. It sounds along the ages. The words are copied in the chat screen. Please keep your mics muted and simply sing along at home if you would like.
Thank you so much, Barb and Bruce. This is from The Servant Candle, a reading by Judy Bressler of the Klezmer Conservatory Band, adapted by Monique Bourgeoisie. They write, "A candle alone is a small thing, but one candle can light another and see how its own light increases as it gives flame to another. Light is the power to chase away the darkness. And throughout history, the darkness has tried to smother the light, but always in the end it fails. For somewhere, always, somewhere in the world, the light remains, ready to burn its brightest where it is darkest. And every free people in the world has remained free by resisting those who would extinguish the light in people's hearts, the light of freedom and truth and love. We who seek to increase this light must remember that just as one candle alone is a small thing, one person alone a small thing, one nation alone a small thing, we must learn to see how much we need others. We must learn to see how much others need us. We cannot hope to reach our own highest capabilities until we help those around us reach theirs. And when one heart kindles another, when one person strengthens another, when one mind illuminates another, the light increases within us as we pass it on. We light candles now to commemorate this eternal bridge of light passing from one person to another, reaching from the beginning of creation to fill the radiant spirit of free people everywhere. Each of us is a light. Each of us has the power to chase away the darkness in ourselves and others, and we are all strongest when we help each other. Wonderful words as we gather together here digitally. And as we come together, it's only right to remember that each of us is on land which was once the traditional territory of Indigenous people. My home and the church building are built on the land of the Pohote, or the Iowa people. Good morning, and I am so glad you're here on this amazingly beautiful hot day. I'm Reverend Amy Petrie Shaw. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and welcome to our digital service. Bill Brock is today's celebrant. Bruce Martin is our song leader, and Barb Martin's our song leader, and Bruce Martin is our pianist. We just ask that you keep your microphones muted during the service. You're welcome to turn your camera on. We are recording this service, which will be available on our main UCDSM Facebook page and our First Unitarian Church of Des Moines YouTube channel. After the service today, we'll be doing breakout rooms. So please feel free to turn on your microphone and your camera and join us in a virtual coffee hour after the service.
Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Des Moines digital service. My name is Bill Brock. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And as Reverend Amy said, I'm the celebrant for this morning's service. Whether you are with us for the day or here for a lifetime, we are glad that you have chosen to join us online. Everyone is welcome to join us for a service, whether or not you live in Des Moines or have ever physically been at First Unitarian. Whoever you are, we hope that you find something here today to help you on your life's journey. We are excited to have Al Éxito as our outreach partner for May and June. Al Éxito continues to deliver free groceries weekly to 21 families around the Des Moines Metro who are food insecure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many Latinx families have lost their jobs and have limited access to support due to their immigration status. Half of your donation today will go to Al Éxito.
Our time for all ages today includes a story called The Skin I'm In by Pat Thomas. And I'm going to be showing the video of the book so that you can see the pictures, and we'll be reading along with it. So let's give this a shot. The Skin I'm In by Pat Thomas. Which is not going to work quite right. Let's see if I can get this to reload. Give me just a moment. Imagine a world where only people with blue eyes could go to school, or a world where only people with brown eyes could get a job. If we lived in a world like this, many people would be treated unfairly. They would miss out on the chance to learn and work and feel good about themselves. The way you look is decided by your family background. Sometimes this is called your culture or your race. The most common way race is judged is by the color of your skin. Your race tells the history of your family. It's where your ancestors come from and the religion and traditions your family has followed for many years. Our world is like a big, beautiful garden filled with animals and plants of every color and shape and size. And people come in lots of beautiful colors and shapes and sizes too. Even though they're different races, we all belong to one big human family. We're much more alike than different. Some believe that people from their race are worth more and should be treated better than people from other races. A person who thinks and acts this way is usually called a racist. Racists want to stop people of other races from living and working and learning together. Anybody of any skin color can be a racist. And racists make it hard for all of us to live together peacefully. They're bullies who use the differences between people as an excuse for calling names and picking fights and keeping other people from having equal human rights. Like all bullies, racists are cowards. They're afraid of anybody who looks different from them. Have you ever been afraid of somebody that looked different from you? It happens to everyone. But most people make the effort to get to know someone before they decide about them. Racists never do this. They always judge others by how they look and not by who they are. Sometimes racist behavior is obnoxious, but sometimes it can be hidden in the way people treat each other or talk about each other. You should never copy racist behavior, and whenever you feel you can, it's good to let others know that you think it's wrong. When you're bullied by a racist for the color of your skin, you may feel as if you've done something wrong and wish you could be someone different. It can make you feel sad and lonely and frightened. You may not want to eat or sleep or leave the house or even go to school. You may feel no one will understand or believe you if you tell them what's happening, but you must never keep racist behavior a secret. Always tell an adult you trust about it. The people who love you and care about you will be able to help. Racists only see the differences between people, but most people know that it's okay for each of us to look and act differently and to have different beliefs. Most people want the world to be a place where each of us gets the same opportunities to make friends and learn and grow. But even though we may be different races, science has shown that we share the same basic human makeup, so we're mostly alike. Remember that the best way to make the world a fair and safe place for anyone to live is for people to appreciate the racial differences between them and how much everyone has in common. This book is wonderful for using, especially with K through third grade kids, if you need to discuss racism. It has working questions and questions at the end to help you work with it. We have one more little video to show. The wonderful post-pandemic party folks have struck again, and they've asked me to share this video with all of you.
Hey guys, what are y'all doing?
Just looking at pictures from church.
Yeah, we're enjoying summer, but we sure miss church. What do you miss about church?
I miss seeing my friends at church.
What do you miss about church?
Coffee hour.
Yeah, got to see lots of people and have good snacks. Did you know that there is a post-pandemic church party being planned? Tickets are $10 to $12 for and under, and then $20 for adults if you can. The last day to buy is on June 15th. The church website is where you can buy those tickets, or you can send a check labeled PPP, Post-Pandemic Party, and this is for all ages, so you can see your friends there. You can see your friends there. I can see my friends there.
Thank you all with the post-pandemic party for sending us that lovely reminder to get your tickets. My offertory today is done in my normal tasteful style. A small woman in her 60s was walking along the beach, enjoying an afternoon stroll, and she heard someone shouting for help. Looking around, she saw an obviously distraught woman kneeling next to a huge 6'7", 300-pound man who was turning blue and holding his throat. "Help, help," the woman yelled. "He was trying to show me a silly trick. He swallowed a quarter. It's blocking his throat." Without hesitation, the little woman ran over, grabbed the huge man by his foot, and whipped him up in the air. In a second, she had spun him around, balanced him on one hand, and squeezed his middle. The man started to cough and sputter, and he spat the coin out. The woman caught the coin in her other hand, twirled him around again, and deposited him gently on his feet. "That was incredible," said his grateful friend. She stared at the tiny woman and then at her large buddy. "You seem to know exactly what to do. Are you a doctor? A judo expert? How did you get him to cough up that quarter?" "No, sir," the woman replied. "I'm retired. But you see, I'm the chair of the stewardship committee for my UU church, and I can get money out of anything." The morning offering will now be given and joyfully received. And if you would like to support First Unitarian Des Moines and our Faith in Action partner in El Éxito, I'm going to put a link, or Lyra can put the link in the chat right now. Otherwise, you can go to our main website at UCDSM and click on Give in the top bar. When the pull-down menu opens, click on Online Giving, and you can put any amount you want in the basket, or you can make a repeating gift. This is the digital version of passing the offering plate. Half goes to El Éxito and one half to support UCDSM's social justice work overall. Thank you, Bruce. I've asked Lyra Halston to say just a few words about our upcoming new member class. Lyra, if you'd like to.
Sure, thank you. If you are interested in becoming a member of First Unitarian Church of Des Moines, or just wanting to know a little bit more about Unitarian Universalism, Reverend Amy and I would warmly invite you to our new member class, UU and U. The class will be held via Zoom on Sunday, June 28th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So enjoy your lunch while learning all about the history and theology of Unitarian Universalism, including who are some famous Unitarian Universalists, the history of First Unitarian Church of Des Moines, and what is involved in joining our community. The class is required for membership. Registration information will be available on our website shortly, and you'll receive the Zoom link and class materials after you register. If you have any questions, please email me at membership@ucdsm.org. I will put my email in the chat for everyone, and I hope to see you on the 28th. Thank you.
Thanks, Lyra. We're a wonderful community here, and we welcome anyone who wants to join. As a community of human hands and human hearts, part of the reason we come together here to share our laughter and our tears, and to bear witness and to minister to one another as we struggle with life's challenges and celebrate life's joys. We especially hold in love anyone who is grieving or heavy-hearted today. We hold in love all those who are ill with COVID-19 or with any other cause. We hold in love the protesters out in the streets fighting for love and justice. We hold in love the members of the press who have been targeted, pepper sprayed, rubber bulleted, and pushed. We hold in love every parent who has to explain to their child what's going on this week. Let us bring into this moment anyone we know who could use some special care and attention. And please feel free to type their names in the chat, and so we can have the love of this community hold them by name. Within our community and across the wider world, there are people who are denied their inherent worth and dignity because of some facet of their inherent humanity. May the work of our hands and our hearts support and comfort all those who are marginalized, oppressed, silenced, or at risk. May we be called to compassionate action by the needs of those who struggle against violence and degradation and destruction. May our lights shine on the broken places of the world. May we journey in solidarity with all who fight for equity and justice in human relations. May all those who are grieving be comforted. May those who are tired find rest. May the broken places of our world be healed. May those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant. Together, we light 3 candles, one for the joys and concerns that we've shared here today. One of those is for the names that we've put in our chat. And there's a final one for all of the joys and all of the concerns which we hold deeply, but which have remained unspoken here today.
The Low Road by Marge Piercy. What can they do to you? Whatever they want. They can set you up. They can bust you. They can break your fingers. They can burn your brain with electricity. Blur you with drugs till you can't walk, can't remember. They can take your child. Wall up your lover. They can do anything you can't stop them from doing. How can you stop them? Alone, You can fight. You can refuse. You can take what revenge you can, but they roll over you. But two people fighting back to back can cut through a mob. A snake dancing file can break a cordon. An army can meet an army. Two people can keep each other sane, can give support, conviction, love, massage, hope, sex. Three people are a delegation, a committee, a wedge. With four, you can play bridge and start an organization. With six, you can rent a whole house. Eat pie for dinner with no seconds and hold a fundraising party. A dozen make a demonstration. 100 fill a hall. 1,000 have solidarity and your own newsletter. 10,000 power and your own paper. 100,000 your own media. 10 million your own country. It goes on one at a time. It starts when you care to act. It starts when you do it again after they said no. It starts when you say we and know who you mean. And each day you mean one more.
This is a meditation on hope and love in a time of struggle by Reverend Alice Anakita Naisman. In a world so filled with brokenness and sorrow, it would be easy to lose ourselves in never-ending grief, to be choked by our outrage, to be paralyzed by the enormity of suffering, to feel our hearts squeezed tight with hopelessness. Instead, this morning, let us simply breathe together as we hold our hearts open. Breathing in as our hearts fill with compassion. Breathing out as we pray for healing in our world and in our lives. Breathing in, opening ourselves to the transforming power of love. Breathing out, we pray for peace in our world and in our lives. Breathing in, we hold hope in our hearts. Breathing out, we pray for justice in our world and in our lives. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into the world. Breathing in, we are the prayer. Breathing out, we are the healing. Breathing in, we are the love. Breathing out, we are the peace. Breathing in, we are the hope. Breathing out, we are the justice. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into this world. Blessed be, and may it ever be so.
Choose to Bless the World by Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker. Janice Marie Johnson wrote, "Words by Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker give me hope." Reverend Dr. Parker said this, "Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question: what will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude, to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life welcoming you. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Our centering song today is number 170, Gentle Angry People. The words will be in the chat screen. Please keep your mics muted and simply sing along at home if you would like.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are old and young together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are old and young together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Thank you, Barb and Bruce. That was really, really lovely. Social media can be good or bad or indifferent, but sometimes it really makes a point. This past week, a teenager, young man named Cameron Welsh, took to a very trite social media platform, TikTok. You may hear a lot of jokes about it. He wanted to share the rules his mom makes him follow as a young black man in America. This video is not fancy, and you have to listen from the beginning. There's no intro. It's less than a minute long, and I wanted you to hear this. This is What this young man has been told by his mom is the difference between life and death as a young black kid. Give me just a second.
Don't put your hands in your pockets. Don't put your hoodie on. Don't be outside with no shirt on. Check in with your people. It don't matter even if you're down the street. Don't be out too late. Don't touch anything you're not buying. Never leave the store without a receipt or a bag, even if it's just a pack of gum. Never make it look like there's an altercation between you and someone else. Never leave the house without your ID. Don't drive with a wife beater on. Don't drive with a do-rag on. Don't go out in public with neither. Don't ride with the music too loud. Don't stare at a Caucasian woman. If a cop stop you randomly and start questioning you, don't talk back, just compromise. If you ever get pulled over, hands on the dashboard, and ask, could you get out your license and registration?
With everything.
When you contrast the seriousness, the earnestness of that young man's sharing with a lot of what you see out there in the name of social justice activism online, it's sobering. Click, like, and share if you want world peace. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag George Floyd, hashtag Cameron Welsh. Gosh, Black Lives Matter just tweeted a riot is the language of the unheard. I better retweet that right now. That sounds deep. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Justice for All. Donald Trump says if he gets 10 million retweets on Twitter, he'll stop all violence nationwide and give everyone a pony. Retweet today. After the last 4 years or so, I'm a little tired of surface level activism, clicktivism. I'll be the first to admit that I use social media daily and I post about peace and justice. I click like and share on a lot of things. I dream about a lot of things. Sometimes I pray that the God of my understanding will stop the violence and the hatred. It's great. I can do all these things without stepping away from the computer, right? Dial in social justice. And don't get me wrong, praying and good thoughts and liking and clicking and tweeting are good ways at times to get information across, to start to change perceptions. But our work, the work of the peacemaker, the work of the justice seeker, the work of the Unitarian Universalist is to do more. And boy, that job can look overwhelming. When the mountains are too high and the equipment is too poor, it's really easy to stop climbing. When the goals are too big and the rewards are too distant, it's human nature to back away and to break down and to grind to a halt. And we see this around all kinds of activism. We see these different ethics, these different styles of approaching the world's problems. See if you've ever heard anything like this. I know we need to fix this stuff, but it's too big. It's taken on a life of its own. And honestly, I don't have time to tackle a project of that magnitude. I work, I have kids. You don't need me, you need activists. I don't do social justice. You need people who do it right. It's an ethic of removal, an ethic of handle it yourself. It says, why should I risk what I have to do something for someone else? I work hard, let me enjoy it. As social justice goes, it's pretty lousy. There's another ethic you see that goes sort of like this. I am so impressed with those folks who can handle doing social justice. I could never do what they do. It takes special kind of people. People like Jesus and Buddha and people you see on those commercials giving kids like gruel in bowls, right? And these folks just wax lyrical about how amazing people who do this work are. It's an ethic of discipleship. It says it takes a Messiah to get this stuff done, a great teacher. And I am not a great teacher, therefore I am off the hook, right? When the great teacher comes, they'll show me how to clean this mess up and how to do the work. And until then, I'll be over here reading a book. But maybe the worst ethic that we see is an ethic of despair. It's what happens when soft-hearted, gentle people get confronted with the evils of the world. And they say, I could just cry because this is so terrible. It would take 100 lifetimes to fix it. It's so broken. Nothing I could ever do could fix it. Somebody better than me has to come up with a plan because I can't handle this. None of these approaches approach the problem. So what ethic does work? The one that seems to work is the one Sharon Welsh calls an ethic of risk. It calls us to do the work of healing in the world without quitting when we see the size of the mountain. Now, some people have suggested that guilt works better. And I would say, you know, if you remember your own childhood, I don't think it's possible to guilt anybody into doing anything for any prolonged period. You remember getting maybe yelled at for harassing a sibling or doing something wretched, and your mother tried the old, see, now you made them cry. Why don't you just give them the cookie and make them feel better? It may work for about 10 minutes, but that's about the extent of it. And the guilt, when we try to guilt people into things, is often misplaced. Guilt is for those things you've actually done. Guilt is for those times you should be ashamed of yourself. Guilt is one of the indicators that lets us heal wounds that we've created. There is nothing to feel guilty about when you didn't do it. I don't feel guilty about 9/11. I don't feel guilty about police shootings or people being tear gassed. I haven't done those things. Normal guilt calls me to act when I've caused hurt. But guilt doesn't work for this. An ethic of risk does. If we are truly acting out of love and compassion for other humans, out of the Buddha's enlightened, all-encompassing love, out of Christian agape, out of humanist, human decency, we're called to engage in social activism from an ethic of risk. So what is that? An ethic of risk is simple. It says there are too many variables in any difficult situation, to really be sure what the outcome of our actions will be. Two people getting married embrace an ethic of risk. They cannot know that their decision to have a formal ceremony will do anything, good or bad, for them. The goal's too big, too far away to make any real connection. What they can know is that it pleases them both today and may position them to live well together. It's a positive step. So the process becomes the point. You take one step toward the goal. If we're talking about social justice work, we do things to make other things happen. We protest to stop violence against Black and brown people. We teach farming to help end world hunger. We give up eating meat to promote animal welfare. The one step that we take does not change the world in and of itself. But we've embraced an ethic of risk as we took that step. We begin to look at the world in a different way. We accept the little gain and we move forward to the next gain. We can't end racism today, but maybe we can work to stop racial profiling in Des Moines. One bite of that apple. Tomorrow we take another step. We take the next bite. Climb the mountain until you get to a place to camp. Don't try to reach the summit today. If you look back on some of the other ethics I mentioned, you can see why they make it almost impossible to make any gains. I will save the world by doing everything right, and if it isn't done right, I quit. That doesn't work. Take a chance. Accept the small wins. Do what's right when you can. And when you can't, work to make it possible to do what's right. This is too big for me. You need special people. No, we don't. It starts here. It starts now. It starts with us. I'm waiting for the great leader to arrive. They called. They're not coming. It's on you. We are the people that we've been waiting for. It makes me want to cry. I'm not able to handle this. Yes, you are. Blow your nose, take a breath, get started. We're all in this together. You may not be able to handle the mountain, but maybe you can walk 10 feet at the base. I'm afraid. We all are. We all are. And we're still all in this together. Start wherever you're needed and take the bites that fit in your mouth of doing this work. Embrace an ethic of risk so that Cameron Welsh and other young people like him don't need those kinds of rules. Do what's right in front of you. Do it because it's the right thing to do, not an expectation of some grand and glorious eventual worldwide outcome. Impact your house and your family, your block and your school. The problems we're looking at today, they've taken generations to create. We're not fixing them by Wednesday. But by Wednesday, you may fix the first piece that leads to another piece that starts a cascade that fixes it in 10 years or in 50 or 100 or 1,000. So hold somebody close to your heart and dry their tears. Do it today. That's not so scary. Feed one family. Wipe the face of one protester. Attend one protest. Even if it's online, do it today. Take a risk. Human hands and human hearts and human lives. One risk at a time, because God and the goddess both called. They're not coming today. It's on you. Celebrate peacemaking. Blessed be.
We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and justice, bringing it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again. Our final song today is number 121, We'll Build a Land. The words will be in the chat screen. Please keep your mics muted and simply sing along at home if you'd like.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a We'll build a building of ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Oh, our sisters and brothers, anointed by God, made and create peace. And justice shall rule all waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build the land, my people, we seek. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall rule down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Are the words of Departure by Robin Gray. As we prepare to depart, we give voice to these hopes. May we know ourselves bound in community even when we are apart. May a passion for justice burn in our lives. May we carry the light of compassion in our hearts and in our every interaction. May we be whole in our devotion to truth and always carry the lamp of peace before us. The service has ended, and now your service begins anew. Peace, Ashe, and may it be so.
Soul of truth, eternal goodness, sojourn with us as we part. Fill our minds with high endeavor. Keep us just and pure in heart. Strengthen